Zoning may sound dull until it affects what can be built next door, what your property may be worth, or what housing options exist in your neighborhood. In this guide, we will look at Arlington's missing middle debate and what it means for real estate. The important idea is simple. Local policy can influence opportunity, but the actual effect on a property depends on the rules, the lot, the market, and the people making decisions. Missing middle housing describes housing types between a detached single-family home and a large apartment building. Depending on local rules, that can include duplexes, triplexes, townhomes, or small multifamily structures. These categories sound straightforward, but they do not create the same opportunity on every parcel. Lot dimensions, setbacks, parking, tree requirements, stormwater rules, and other regulations can change the answer. In Arlington, expanded housing options, often called EHO, has generated significant public debate and legal challenges. Because policy can change, anyone making a real decision should check current official county guidance before relying on an older article or social media post. Why should a homeowner care if they never plan to build? Because zoning can affect potential use, neighborhood expectations, buyer behavior, and the way people estimate the value of land. First, zoning affects potential use. If a property can legally support more units or a different form of redevelopment, the land may be evaluated differently. But potential value is not the same as guaranteed value. Second, zoning shapes neighborhood expectations. Some residents want more housing choice and affordability. Others worry about parking, trees, stormwater, schools, traffic, and neighborhood character. Both the rules and the market response matter. Third, uncertainty can change how buyers, builders, and sellers behave. A property may attract attention because of a possible future use, yet still require extensive verification before anyone should pay for that possibility. For buyers, research zoning before purchasing, especially when future expansion, redevelopment, or rental use is part of the plan. Never assume that because a neighbor did something, the same result is available to you. The details may include lot size, setbacks, coverage, parking, overlays, historic rules, trees, stormwater, easements, utilities, and current litigation. The correct answer is often found in the details rather than in the headline. For sellers, zoning can influence how a property is discussed, but development potential should never be advertised as certain unless it has been verified. A buyer, builder, or attorney may need to review the lot and the current rules. The broader lesson is that Northern Virginia is not one market. Arlington, Fairfax, Alexandria, Falls Church, and other jurisdictions can behave differently, and even nearby properties can produce different answers. A condo buyer evaluates risk differently from someone buying a detached home. A narrow price range, an HOA, commute patterns, school preferences, property condition, and monthly payment can all change the decision. Consider 3 examples. Expanded housing debates can affect expectations. Lot redevelopment questions depend on physical and legal constraints. And owner-occupant and investor demand can point to different strategies for the same property. Real estate decisions combine numbers and behavior. Price, payment, taxes, insurance, repairs, closing costs, rent potential, sale proceeds, and cash reserves all matter. But buyers get nervous, sellers get emotional, and appraisals can surprise everyone. A strong plan does not eliminate every risk. It identifies the biggest risks early and decides which ones are acceptable. In a purchase, those risks can include financing, appraisal, inspection, title, insurance, association documents, resale value, and repairs. The first common mistake is treating a zoning headline as immediate certainty. Social media clips and advice from another market may create confidence without answering the question that matters most. What is allowed on this specific property today? The second mistake is assuming every lot qualifies for every use. When people want a home or want to finalize a sale, they may skip the details. The better approach is to request supporting documents, compare numbers, and confirm deadlines. The third mistake is making an investment decision without verifying current county rules. If a decision depends on legal rights, taxes, financing, zoning, or investment performance, confirm the relevant facts with the appropriate professional before acting. For buyers, do not treat the home search as a list of bedrooms, bathrooms, and price. Treat it as a decision system. Ask for the full monthly cost, the rules, likely repairs, the exit strategy, the ownership timeline, and the level of competition. For sellers, success is not only about listing online. It includes accurate pricing, property preparation, easy access, organized documents, understanding likely objections, and choosing strong offer terms rather than focusing only on the highest number. For investors and long-term homeowners, test the decision under conservative assumptions. What if repairs cost more, rent is lower, financing changes, or resale takes longer? A strong decision should remain reasonable even when the outcome is less than perfect. Here is a practical checklist. Check the current county status before acting. Verify lot-specific rules. Distinguish a policy debate from an approved permit. And consult land use professionals before building or assigning value to a future outcome. The right real estate decision is specific. It depends on the county, neighborhood, property type, price point, contract, financing, timeline, and decision maker. That is why generic advice often fails. People need a clear process, not more noise. Zoning is not just a label for a neighborhood. It is a framework that influences what can be built, how a property may be used, and what questions should be answered before spending money on a purchase, renovation, or redevelopment plan. A broad policy does not create the same opportunity on every property. Two homes on nearby streets can have different dimensions, setbacks, coverage limits, easements, tree conditions, stormwater considerations, and other site-specific factors. Future redevelopment depends on more than a zoning category. Lot shape, access, existing improvements, utility conditions, parking requirements, and other applicable rules may affect what can realistically be done and how long the process may take. Even homeowners who do not plan to redevelop should pay attention. Nearby development patterns can influence expectations, buyer perceptions, parking, trees, stormwater, traffic, schools, and the scale of the neighborhood. Sellers should distinguish between saying a property deserves further zoning review and claiming that a buyer can definitely build a certain number of units. Investors should also avoid an analysis based on the most optimistic interpretation of a policy. Zoning debates remind us that rules can evolve. Policies may be amended, challenged, interpreted, or implemented differently over time. A news article, neighborhood discussion, or older project may provide context, but it should not replace current verification. Separate the property you are purchasing today from its future possibilities. First, ask whether the home works for you in its current legal and physical condition. Then evaluate expansion or redevelopment as a separate layer of potential value. Potential development value is not always market value. Builders, investors, and owner-occupants may evaluate the same lot differently. Demand, construction economics, financing, site conditions, and what buyers are willing to pay all shape the outcome. Whether the debate is called missing middle, EHO, expanded housing, or density reform, the lesson remains the same. Policy can influence opportunity, but property-specific facts determine what that opportunity means. Verify the rules, understand the property, and make decisions based on evidence rather than headlines. If you enjoy our content, please like and subscribe to support the channel. It really helps us keep creating high-quality videos.